probably has to come down to nerves. He's a young player. He wasn't with them when they went on their run.
La, la, la.
And now he's coming into the biggest event of the year. But what matters is that his team had him, and they got him to the playoffs. And here, he has stepped up big time and found that form he was showing back home in Europe.
I think also another big thing about Miniboo is that, especially at the beginning of the year when everybody was praising him for very good reasons, he was playing a lot of the Neon, right? He was so impressive and such a pain in the ass to play against. You would hear that from every single player that had been competing for years, that playing against him, it was very complicated. But throughout this tournament, still, we have not seen him picking up that agent. We saw some changes here and there, but I feel like he needs that kind of confidence to bring up his A game.
Yeah, and that's true, right? But as you had mentioned, he's got that support system behind him, right? And they all know how to dig themselves out of hole. Like, for example, right, we could talk about round 24 on Abyss from that Fnatic match that we saw. And, you know, Heretics, right, doing a great job of really stopping the bleeding and giving themselves a fighting chance and winning.
Yeah, Fnatic was going back into the game. They knew exactly how to take it far, to take it to that third map after that crushing defeat on the first map. But when we think about that round and that superiority that Fnatic already had, getting the kills, how Rians just brings everything back, how they managed to take it always one step forward.
Yeah, I mean, this game was a masterclass from Team Heretics to start. Map number 1 was so dominant up against Fnatic. I don't think anyone could have seen it going this way. They were playing at their peak, and then they almost let it slip. But while Team Heretics is defined by the preset stuff, by how good boost calling is, they do have rounds like this. And this tournament, it has almost all been about Rians and how massive he has been in those clutch moments. Remember, this team is mostly made up of rookies. This is Rian's first year playing at Tier 1. These are his first international events, and this is his first Champions playoffs. And he's putting up rounds like that against a team who has done it all on these stages.
The thing is, when you think about a Tier 2 in EMEA, and you think about the teams that compete in some of the leagues, some of these kids are cracked. Like, you would see them play and on an individual level, you cannot beat them. And this is where they spend most of their time developing their serious life players. So if you already have that individual level and you put a staff behind like Neil and Weber and you get an IGL like Boo, it is impossible that you do not get this result.
Yeah, it is truly, truly impressive that what we've seen from this Heretics lineup. But for more on that win over Fnatic, here's actually the IGL Boo with an Omen player moment.
Hello, my name is Boo and I'm playing for Team Heretics. I think the whole game felt really good, except for Abyss defense. There were some rounds that we had, it was criminal to lose, I would say, but we did. And yeah, I mean, it cost us like, you know, overtime and stuff, but once we got the last round and got overtime, I knew we were gonna win it. So yeah, in general, it's a good feeling for sure, like getting top 6, no losses.
मेरा water bottle का था.
Go looking to achieve at least half. They're going to get that, but now there needs to be a fight back here. Wait, he's still there. He's still defusing. Gets half. Benji! I told you this guy can clutch. Oh, and he's still doing it. Almost all
Mummy का room में था कि?
I think when
water
people
bottle
are
don't know, please.
IGLs or coaches especially.
Thank you.
Like nobody knows. Only inside the team people know what they actually do. Only people that play with them can actually, you know, say it objectively. But I'm not looking to become the best IGL. I'm looking to become better IGL than I am right now. It's just about improving and learning.
Okay.
So next time it's gonna be better. And like even if we will win or something, like it's not gonna stop. I hope that the hunger to improve is not gonna stop.
And you know, when you talk about how things were for Heretics and how Miniboo, you know, needed his team to rally behind him, fascinatingly enough, you can say the same thing about Aspas on Leviathan, because it was a little bit of a similar situation. Yes, Aspas had his moments of brilliance, but it was not the best performance that we've seen from him. A guy who, quite frankly, Mimi, always has a lot of pressure on him because of the level of play he brings to the table.
Yeah, but his team was excellent in this one. I think the rest of these guys had big step-ups to compensate. Tex and Mazzino in particular were excellent in that regard. And this is why people consider this team a super team, right? You see these stats from Aspas, you know, they don't look too bad. But by his metrics, he wasn't putting up the numbers. He normally did.
He looks at that, he's like,
मैले खाएन बहिनीलाई चाहिँ
guys on this
खानेकुरा दिएको
top level individual players. They get shrouded behind how good Aspas is sometimes. But just the depth of raw mechanical skill on this team is remarkable, even at this level of play.
And when we think about Heretics and what they did the other day to Fnatic, a lot of it was on individual level. Like the duels that they were taking, the fights that they were winning, there was nothing that you could do against them. But against LEV, like if both of the teams bring their A game, this is going to be #1 entertainment.
Well, look, let's take a look at the predictions.
Why
real
is
quick
that
before we send it over to
so?
the
Aren't
stage,
you
because,
hungry?
I mean, even for us, right? This was a tough one to call. I mean, let's ignore that first column. But you know, let's look at the bottom. and on the bottom, I feel like everyone, you know, no one knows, right? Like where to go. I went with Heretics. I feel like they're playing some of the best Valorant right now. Like they dig deep. So that's why I went with Heretics.
During the entirety of China, I
Volley
voted against
Zamlan khana,
Heretics.
volley.
It took them to the final. So the other day, I promised Benji that I would keep doing that, and it would take them to the final as well. So I'm never predicting an EMEA team again. I'm just saying that.
I think it's a close game, but I think that LEV are almost guaranteed to get to play Icebox this series, where they have looked uncontested against the other teams here at Champions. And I think the rest of the pool is likely to be really close. And with the massive amount of experience on this Leviathan roster and the form they showed their last game, I have them edging it out, but I mean, Team Heretics is playing some damn good Valorant right now.
And a lot on the table, a lot to prove. Remember, winning here takes you to that top 3, and both of these teams won that more than anything.
We already saw EDG make history. Can Heretics do it again? Can Leviathan push forward? Let's go ahead and bring out the teams and get this match started.
Team Leviathan. जो अगाडि आउँछ त्यसले जित्छ है जित्यो Aspas no bro, no, Aspas is the best. You're jealous because you ain't that player. Don't be jealous.
It's a classic Americas versus EMEA battle, but it's also much more than that. For Heretics, it's an opportunity for them to get right back to where they were after Shanghai at the top of the mountain. And then for Leviathan, let's not forget, this is a team with 2 world champions.
Probably your Sentinel fan. I know, Susil.
Try and push further and further, but Kukuka, we see the series play out.
Sentinel fan.
You have Lotus, and then you have Haven right at the end.
Are we all living in the same world? Did Heretics
Yes, that team is winning, by the way.
They're cooking. I have a feeling they're cooking. I have a feeling they're cooking.
It has to be. It has to be something related to cooking. Definitely, some questions are going to need some answers.
Chef Boo, actually, Chef Boo is cooking. All right, that's what I want to believe.
You are Susil, bro. YouTube. I know you. What's your name? YouTube.
EMEA lost to Vitality. They've never had outstanding performances on that map. So there has to be something prepared there. But where we're starting is Icebox, and this is home territory for Leviathan.
And you said we were going to see it, more than likely.
This might mean that Minibo
Rahul, okay, so where are you from, Rahul?
When we moved on to the playoffs,
You're probably Sentinel fan, right?
To swap things around, maybe it's a change of tempo for him as well.
For Icebox or for
Leviathan is winning this shit, bro.
No, but good call, though. Good call. I mean, that is fascinating. And
Liliana!
This is really just going to be
Liliana!
quite interesting to see how this breaks out. What is the game plan for Heretics, I guess, in the long term?
It's going to be interesting to see. Leviathan has been so nebulous this year. It's impossible to place their
It really is.
When you think they're going to be great, they flop. That's what happened in Shanghai.
Okay, leave. I'll close the door.
In the first round for a squad so
But
many.
then they win America's stage 2. They win playoffs, and you're like, this team looks like
Thank
the best
you.
team in the world.
But by contrast, Team Heretics with a sub at that very same event, Master Shanghai.
Voila. Lokon Voila. Oh, okay,
Made it to the
Rahul.
finals. It was ridiculous.
You're Sentinel fan, right?
So now this script is
Rahul.
kind of flipped. The squad with the far more experienced players, with 2 champions on their roster, is the team trying to make it to their first top 3 as a squad.
And here we have it, Minibu's first Neon of the entire tournament. I mean, I'm surprised that they do not want to swap things around. They've only played this, they haven't played it in the entire tournament, of course, this map. And even though at EMEA, at the beginning of the year, this map was so popular, by the the end of it, we barely even touched it. And as Mimi was saying, this is such a comfortable ground for Leviathan.
Miniboo gets more value with his relay bolt on Neon than anyone else. On this defense, watch how he uses that.
That's why you're trash. Probably you're silver in game,
but Leviathan's
right?
comp makes retaking hell. Those harbor walls are so tough to get through, and EMEA teams don't tend to be used to playing against
Bro,
them.
they lost with this team.
Team Heretics. And get to some casting. Let's send it over to your casters for this one. It's Pansy and Steel.
Thank you so much, GB and the desk there. And I think it would be.
I'm just offended because you said Aspas was trash. That's why. He's the literally best duelist in the world right now.
These are some of the strongest maps for Leviathan, and they're walking in their eyes wide open. They've got to be happy with this.
This is a very difficult situation for Team Heretics. Obviously, looking at their map pool, they instantly take out Ascent. That's one of Leviathan's best maps, but that means Icebox left in. Team Heretics has not looked pretty on this. They've lost to weaker teams in the regional matchups. Koi to Gentlemaids. It's not looking pretty here. And we're not even going to see their best map of Sunset either in the series.
Whom are you asking?
They need to come out swinging. They need to show us something different.
And we were discussing that Heretics had looked a little revitalized coming into some switch-ups, but to discredit LEV here would be a disservice. They are exceptionally strong on this map. We have to wait and see how it looks for them today. Doritex, second time is always a little bit better. We're getting curious, and he's dead. He's very dead. Aspas happily going to take him away. Sheriff in his hands. Always scary. Again, for Aspas, looking to see him activate here. Another great map for him. And that head-to-head with Miniboo is something going to be on our forefront of our minds. Oh, a little bit of a re-swing. Nice Benji. From Benji. Aspas,
Benji.
Relax, Benji. But he's given them a chance, and it's now a 2v2. The spam nearly caught Aspas in the heels. Pause. Slow it down. 40 seconds. They've got time to play with, and Aspas, he's already getting over towards B.
Now it's going to develop a little bit. Aspas down to only 10 HP, so yes, he'll get that spike planted.
30 seconds left.
But it's all on King and his positioning here. How is he going to deal with the rotation from Team Heretics? They're going to move together. Dart's going to come off cooldown before they go for this retake. The HP is there for the side of Team Heretics, but Sheriffs purchased up for Team Leviathan, and only 100 HP on these players. So it's 2 body shots.
Oh, this is important.
Spots one.
Spot made.
Standing ahead.
And it's actually Aspas that was the one that planted the spike, and he makes his way around the world. But no splash damage to be able to get on that spike.
This is sick, though. They don't expect it. The timing's so good for Aspas. If he can just check on the spike, that's a great shot. That's a perfect follow.
What a play! What a play!
To put his body on the line for that trade as well. LEV walk away with the first. They kept composed under what got a very dangerous situation with Benji finding those 3.
It's a big effort from Benji out the gates, but maybe a little bit misplayed from that entire push sequence, starting from that push from Woot with that Dizzy. Not enough follow-up. And what we're going to see from Leviathan this entire game right now is because they have that Viper Harbor just double controller setup, they can continuously put up and down walls, use cascades. That Viper Orb placement towards the back of A site as well is going to be crucial. It's on Team Heretics to make sure that their timing and spacing is pivotal. Benji.
Oh. LOL!
Love that. Love that. Punishing any attempt. And I want to see this from LEV. I want to see the dialed-in LEV. I want to see that dangerous LEV. They've been a little hit and miss throughout this so far. Obviously that upset earlier on in the groups. Looking to recover, and they're doing so very well here. Step by step, clearing out the A site. Still a couple of threats there. Sheriff's in hand. That's going to be Miniboo and Rien, so Rien's now moted. Tex takes down Miniboo. Beautifully done for LEV. That's 5 standing. That's dreamy.
Nice flawless round, gonna help that economy situation. But as I look to these two teams, yes, this is going to be an uphill battle for Team Heretics. Right now, they're not getting the best map picks for them. But if you take a look at the form from both teams recently coming into this event, they were teams that were just destroying 2-0 constantly throughout the year. But in the Stage 2 area, including playoffs, they looked like they were dropping maps here and there, both these teams. But to get to this stage, in this Champs tournament right now, they're both the heavy hitters. This is going to be a huge test.
Yeah. Bonus here for LEV, so going to look at the Vandal that's still with Aspas. And bits and bobs around it, so certainly poses enough of a threat, and I feel like we're going to be seeing this A site basically the entire time. A little bit of a lurk from King, kind of keeping control on the other side, so no overconfidence or, I guess, assumptions can be made if you're Heretics. They can't always assume, and then will be punished if they do so. Aspas, again, renowned for his entry work. The guy is genuinely a joy to watch. But for now, it's going to be Tex. Quick on the trigger to find Benji, and a very quick rotation.
It's all on Boo here at the back of the site. Dart on Calm, though. He's going to catch him, force him out of the position. He needs to back away. He needs to value his life. 4 versus 5 is winnable. That spike's going to get planted. He cannot stop it, not with that Cove up.
Nothing to be done about it. It's actually Tex to connect. This bonus looking like
good,
pretty much on the money here. They're in the post plant. They've got all the bodies here. And Aspas leading the charge again. Finally put to bed by Boo, but it's Rienz and Boo to try and clear all of this space. They've got util for the post plant. Tex can create a fortress around him by Yellow. And this Outlaw already been spot on. I think a tag there yet. Rienz is barely breathing. Boo's trying to do some work, but it's Tex. Holding this down, beautiful from Tex. Stunning work, Lev. Going to be over the moon with converting that bonus.
Nice shooting there, Tex. But an early death from Benji Fishy down at middle. That was the thing that opened up right here. Opens up the rest of the round, the pivot back to B. And with that double controller, Lev is going to be able to do all these audibles, these back and forth, push-pull type of attacks right now, and they have the perfect players for this as well. Tex is very strong at taking those individual duels if you unleash him around middle.
I mean, Tex is 7-1 currently. He's absolutely coming in on point, on form, and this could be another farming opportunity. Light armor everywhere, Sheriffs, yes. They're going to hear this. They should be pretty aware of what's maybe around that corner, so I hope to see a very diligent, cautious approach from Lev without leaving it too late.
Pretty good read on the situation. Boo's got that deep line towards B, jump spotting, till he gets pressed off that issue. Team Heretics is going to keep this stack. They had this on pistol round. Benji got 3 from this location, but Lev is peeling off.
Oh, but I like that. Going to note that at least they're starting to re-clear over towards A.
And that turret up from Tex at that A push. Gonna get that information. Boo can't progress further than this.
And again, yeah, they can't rotate. They're still holding players here. That's nice from Boo, but one's all you're gonna get. A big trade from Aspas, and Tex just hunting. He's out and about looking for any potential victims, but they've somewhat passed by already. Up towards Kitchen as the plant comes in from Azino. Oh, Mini Boo, just a shot in the dark. Yeah, straight up blind. The Dizzy Flash going to be in play. Aspas got to be cautious. Forced to fall away. 30 seconds. Suddenly, we're in a little bit of trouble here. And he's got no way out of this safely.
30 seconds left.
But where does the spike go? Looking to alleviate some of the pressure. Tex is unleashed in middle. But there's util to hold him back. But he's trying to be a problem, be a nuisance. They've got bodies on the site still. Aspas down to 57. Trying to take point for his side. It's not clean enough for Tex, but he's turning attention. 10 seconds now. They've got to get a kill, and they do. Aspas creates safety, but there's danger above as Rienz could be the disaster. Waiting to strike, but Aspas, the perfect bodyguard, but time is going to be tight. They got the spike. So close, but not close enough.
No.
Mini Boo, all right, big shots, but if anything, the round was the important part.
MasterCard thrifty there because no trust in the teammate to cover, and it didn't even need to get the kill, just needed to drop down out of the site there. Enough panic in the situation. This is where you need to value the end game, the win con. If you get off the plant, you lose. You need to trust your teammate, and if their teammate can't cover you, it's unlucky. But if you get off, this is what happens.
How can you not have faith in Aspas doing what he, like, out of all the players? You have to be rock solid in your faith. But now, though, we go back to business. It was a thrifty conversion. Heads back in the game here for Lev. Lots of ults to play with, seeing Aspas invest his into this round. 3 players in response, though, coming over from Heretics. We are going to see as well the Harbor ult on top of that. Aspas trying to take space over by screens. Pixel spotted, and maybe a victim found. Not going to get the fight he wants, and Heretics peel away. Okay, Rienz, you got to back yourself in some fights, I guess, but that one
swatted like a fly.
King's still on the side though, and Heretics getting closer now, trying to hold the line though. King delivers 2 bodies, puts him to bed. Con from up on top, nice little spray, and he gets it done. LEV instantly correct the course. A mistake made, but made up for in the following round.
That was must needed for Leviathan as well to be able to come back into this, losing around this fashion that they did. Being able to come back and win this next round, it actually makes a big difference here. Yes, they got the first death in the round. It's a 4 versus 5, but these positions pushed up with that lockdown pressure as well. It's just forcing all of these players from Team Heretics to run around, not really fight together at all, and it's going to really affect their economic situation right now. Their economy in shambles, a few Sheriffs and a Vandal on the board. They're getting their ultimates online now. It's going to be so hard to be able to use them as well. LEV pumping the brakes, not doing a fast opening here. We've seen them deny the pressure towards A. Now we see them deny info towards B.
But it's all about timing, and maybe Benji gets it this time.
Just holding his off angle, biding his time. The rotation from Heretics coming back to that A site.
They can gamble stack it. They're on Sheriffs. The big rifle is with Rienz. But beyond that, Sheriffs and hope, pretty much. I don't think he saw what was around that corner, but Benji getting curious down tube again.
I'm from Nepal.
Silence across the map, hard to read.
It's going to be a very tense situation here as soon as first contact is made.
They get enough of a read on that. Maybe just feeling the pressure, but they're close. They're already so close. Deeper towards Maze. Rienz, again, he is the one to watch here, the one with the rifle. LEV cautiously and carefully taking step by step towards the site. You're looking at Rienz closing on the gap, but as Kings take away Minibu with the support system, starting to fall. Couldn't get the follow-up, and LEV now should lock this down. This should be security, and it is.
Domination.
There's a reason they are this strong on this map.
Yep.
Heretics yet to fully make an impact here.
Kathmandu. No, Kathmandu.
Heretics needs to find an impact and fast. They have so many ultimates up in the board, but they're bleeding rounds. And yes, this map skews slightly towards that attack side. It's easy to pick up those rounds, especially when you're push-pulling so easily with the double controllers. But Heretics, they're not hitting their shots. And it sounds really vague, but they're also not fighting together.
Individual, they're isolated. It just feels like they're overwhelmed on these sites.
Whereas if you flip it on the other side, if you look through the lens of Leviathan right now, they're moving together. They're making sure that they're taking the time. As soon as those walls go up, they move together. Yes. And anytime someone's taking a fight, it is traded at the very worst. Except for that other round where Aspas was floating through the air, gets taken out. Everything's been shoulder to shoulder.
Perfect positioning. Really good fundamentals. Now, the way the veto was going to go, the way the traditional bans go for these two teams, you kind of expected Icebox to be the first port of call.
Yes.
Right? If that's available and you're LEV, you're going to lock that in. That's fair. It's what follows that scares. I think even the desk kind of were taken aback for a second there when we saw Haven coming out. Lotus, sure, but that's not a bad map for LEV. And to go down in this sort of fashion, getting kind of overworked here, getting run over, it's very hard to recover. So this could be a tough test for Heretics. I feel like LEV have an absolute upper hand here.
It's a big test for Heretics. They had to have known that this was going to be the map that's in here. They know that they're not strong on the map. So it's all a matter of how are they going to approach this map? How are they going to deal with it if LEV does pick it up? It needs to be in their understanding.
Yes.
This is likely going to be a loss for us. We have not shown that we're strong on this map, but how are we going to rebound for the next maps to come back? And for a rookie team like this,
it's tricky.
It's very tricky.
And I mean, their form mostly got brought into question when we were talking best of fives, longer series. That was a bit of a different situation, but this, we'll see how it affects them. For now, though, LEV still need to, stay the course. They still need to be able to stick the landing on this. Heretics are no slouches. I can't stress that enough. I think Rienz was a sharp reminder of that in some of the previous series. The guy was monstrous, but hard to get things going. And once again, LEV, traditional start. Looking to approach towards that A site. And really, as it stands, only one dedicated. It's going to be Woot hit.
So important for him to get one and live, or just live. Wait for the team to come in. We were just highlighting how LEV is so shoulder to shoulder, getting those trades. Team Heretics has been so spread apart. It's one thing if they're hitting their shots, but right now, LEV is getting the better of them.
And the tempo feels nice from LEV here. And Rienz, I mean, wants to try and deny easy access, but just a hop, skip, and a jump, and it makes no effect.
This is all a ruse, though.
And they're biting on it, hook, line, and sinker. Did Benji spot anything?
But Benji's got his lockdown. This is going to be very difficult for LEV to be able to do anything. They're coming back to A. Just a fake pump back to B. Get spotted. Come back into A. The site is free. The Viper's Pit covers that plant spot. Miniboo.
They're playing them like a fiddle. They are absolutely running rings around them. Free site plant. We're looking at the retake, though. It's kind of always postured for Heretics in that aspect.
I also look at Tex.
Yeah, Tex, though, trying to catch that rotation. Perfect. Big delivery on towards Boo. Can they finish with a flourish? Keep this clean. 5 still alive for LEV. Woot trying to maybe lead the way. Forge them forward.
Big kills.
Back to back, but it's Calm on top. 2 kills. Aspas still holds. And it's all on Woot in a 1v2. Problems left and right, and they're going to know where he is. He might be just dead to rights here. He seems to have lost track of where they are, but Tex never did. LEV are the team on this map in my mind, and we're seeing it round by round.
It's so difficult to deal with the double controller when they have King and Tex constantly on the extremities, up through middle. The push-pull, starting in one side of the map and then shifting to the other. The double fakes, the pumps. It's really catching Team Heretics off guard. And right now, the only real way to get ahead of this is if you had a Jet with an AWP trying to pick them off as they walk around the map.
Bro.
But right now, they're on Neon. They don't have that Jet. It's hard to use some verticality. They're losing these rounds. They can't even get an AWP out.
What bug play there?
And I guess, and I feel like I shouldn't say it because it feels fraudulent as a play-by-play caster to say, if anything, we kind of expected it to be this way. I think anyone with a bit of a mind for Valorant looked at the veto and went, well, map 1 is going to probably LEVs. It would need a massive change, something of that ilk. But I guess the big question mark is, what is the impact on the individual players? Do they suffer in these moments? Are they going to be kind of down on themselves, struggling then to pick themselves back up? Map 2, map 3 potentially? That's always the question mark. And how much does LEV get rewarded from a map like this? Confident display, feeling like everything's working too, because that's got to feel great. It's not just like the Aspas show, no, it's this lovely approach, the fundamentals wrapped up with a bow, and everything looking just peachy. Now, outside of that, yeah, they could still get a couple of rounds. This map is never over. I think we've learned that in Val. It can always change like that. But as it stands, yet to see that spark from Heretics. And Tex snuffing them out. I mean, Tex has been absolutely on it today. Already, pleasure to witness. Let's see if there's any signs of life. Not really. Tex just farming. There's only Boo to really do some damage here. That's another plant. And they just look so robust in this Miniboo, just given nothing either. They're just really not allowing it until then.
Getting something.
Pick. This isn't bad. At least towards maybe disarming that post plant. But then you still have Com, Hunter's Fury, Shock Darts. Still got Aspas, still got Tex.
Tex 6 HP though. Can easily fall.
But they gotta go. They gotta go now. They're running low on time. And no one's playing to them. There's nothing to be given. You have to take it yourself. And LEV not really feeling intimidated nor threatened by this. First Shock Dart invested.
Second.
And the second. And Miniboo is barely alive. Oh, that's a shot. But it may be all for nothing. A pixel out of place, sure, Boo could do some damage, but the time is the main factor again, LEV. This is perfect to watch. If anyone wants to learn how to play Icebox, watch this.
It requires a lot of teamwork. It looks so deceptive because you look at it, it looks easy, but everything is so important. The communication about when you want to move from this spot to another spot, what Tex and King see on their respective positions at middle and at B to tell them what they can do, and just moving together on those tempos of when their walls come off cooldown, when the dart comes off cooldown, finding that first pick onto Woot, standing on the top of 410 there, walking up belt. Woot's not played there. That wasn't his first time up there. That was his second time. Oh, it's early Hunter's Fury. Gotta be.
Surely?
He was looking for it.
Kind of.
Decided maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe not against the Neon who can just sprint away.
Yeah, that's fair. Boo. I mean, he's been supported now with some additional utility from Benji, but
2-3.
See how he deals with it. Yeah, it's the first time we're seeing this like 2-3 split at least.
They're trying to force out a re-aggress from Team Heretics, but instead Team Heretics, they pop this owl drone. They spot one. They try to push and punish. They don't know what's 3 here though. Miniboo.
They're going to find out fast because they already saw the harbor. They saw Mazzino earlier, but they found Com on the kill. So there is at least information there, and they're going to expect the follow-up. I like this proactivity, but there's still danger to this.
It was early enough in the round. 50 seconds now for LEV to be able to close out this round. 3 players for Team Heretics on the defense.
Gonna take the contact. There should have been a trade on that. How was that disjointed? I thought that was on the absolute money. I thought they had it right. But apparently we were wrong all along.
Boys.
And now a 3v2. Couple of ults though here for Heretics. And they're cautious. You can see it with LEV taking their time. Plant's gonna come in. And once again, you look at this post plant. King's got util, as has Tex, and Aspax can just take point. He can just hold this.
No.
Timing.
Exactly.
2v2. Maybe. With the lockdown, this could be enough. But do they play forward? Do they fall back? Looks like forward is the answer for now. Tex getting interested, getting hungry. Wants the kill. He finds the pointier end of the stick. Benji gives him a life.
भाई के आसपास ले ये even
Heretics is looking for here, and we can see them starting to warm up a little bit. That opening pick, it's a good start. Boo is starting to hit some shots as well.
Yeah.
It's not the first one that he's hit. Benji's had a couple of shots as well. But when we look at Team Heretics, who do we look for? We're actually looking at Rians and Woot a lot of the times, and maybe a little bit muted at the moment, not involved in the game as much. Good opening pick from Miniboo, but in this 5 versus 4, they need to be converting these rounds way more clean. And right now, talked about LEV, shoulder to shoulder, getting those trades. See it again here, getting into this round. Comes down to 2 versus 2. But Team Heretics, they need to be able to understand this map a little bit better, and obviously it's one of their weakest maps, if not their weakest map outside of their permaban of Ascent. But they need to be able to fall back and make it so much harder for LEV. Early Hunter's Fury this time.
You wanted it before, now you're going to get it, but you can see the effect against the Neon. So hard to try and close that down, just skips away. Rien's got to be cautious to not get kind of spammed out here. He's kind of playing an obstacle course, it looks like. Nowhere feels safe, but once again, they're just putting bodies on this. There's 4 players here now, and they're not falling away from the site. There's 3 of them back site. This is about to become a death match. And Aspas, I kind of fancy his odds. All goes up though, and a couple more question marks, but LEV keeping control, trying to stay composed under all the chaos. But it's Woot to fall and King to deliver. Mazzino now holding that side, make sure they can't counter push, but it's come from on top to find 2. But Benji again, the one to try and keep them in this. But where do you put your money now? Boo up against Com. Spike is loose, 50 seconds, he plays ahead of it. Com, good intuition, but from Boo.
Time to throw
Boo, the in-game leader for the team, trying to show the rest of the team, this is what's up. Follow me into battle, and I'm going to take you to the promised land. But I like how Team Heretics is doing the defense. And we see how good LEV is good running in together. We see it from the perspective of Team Heretics right now. Yeah. Everyone's moving together. They're swinging 2, 3 at the same time, trying to get those trade outs. But what Team Heretics did better this round than the previous round is they're at the back of the site. They have their Viper wall isolating LEV. They put that Neon wall up. They're moving together. So step by step, getting better for Heretics, still trailing by 2.
Oh,
so gutsy. But you need this.
No, okay, he backs away. I was wondering if he was feeling really audacious, but it's Benji. This is an early test he hasn't had before. Tex this time beats his opposing number. So that's a massive pick at 1 minute 18. That's so early in the round.
And that's all the Sentinel abilities down as well. So that means that mid lurks are going to be very strong.
Oh, they're on the menu. Going to have the lockdown as well towards A.
This might be counterproductive. That Hunter's Fury setup for Rians, he knows he could get some collateral damage here as soon as that spike gets tapped. But Heretics was basically off of the site, so LEV, they go and they get that plant.
There's Hunter's Fury.
Gets stalled out.
Yeah, and now a pre-take towards the site. This is nice, really well timed.
And he picks him off.
That's perfect from Rians. And I've got to say credit to Woot and Miniboo for hitting that as the second that the Hunter's Fury came down. They're starting to get the tempo of this game. Finger on the pulse here, but the dangerous 3 still stand. Aspas, Tex, and King. Miniboo getting curious. Oh, big punish. Good trade as well. Great spacing. But it is Aspas. And he always deserves a moment of respect here. Spike is left out of hand. Is there a way to divide? Oh, he's starting to conquer! 10 seconds, pops the ult, a quick turn, he knows where he is. 7 seconds to play with. What does Boo do? He clutched before, and he's done it again!
Boo is doing incredible work for Team Heretics, keeping them alive. Multiple engagements in these clutches, back to back as well. He is pivotal for these guys. He's the in-game leader, and he's not known for being able to post up these huge numbers or get these huge rounds.
That's impact kills,
That is very high impact kills.
And Give me the odds on that 1v1. And Aspas up against Boo 1v1 to clutch it out. Credit where it's due. This is 3 consecutive rounds. Maybe there is life in Heretics yet. You've got to say, LEV still lead by a good margin. They've shown a very good display, but there are answers being made by Heretics. They're getting that read on the game.
They're getting more confident.
Yes, and you can see it here. This time it's Benji winning that fight. Takes away Tex, and that was the trade out from the last round that went in LEV's favor. And now they've got control here. They have this A-site control finally.
I believe it was a little bit of a spam duel that Benji got the better. A killjoy diff at middle there. Boo. Valuing his life, sees this orb. Oh, and a spam kill for him.
That's so nice. Just catching a second of King. He's trying to get towards yellow, but the plant's going to be coming through. Can he deny it? That's actually going to sting a little on Com there. Does get away. Aspas gets detained. Woot's on the way. Boo's going to find him, and now suddenly they're down to 2. Com and Mazzino suddenly with a wake-up call. This game ain't so easy. And Miniboo, I feel like he's kind of overcooked that a little bit, but luckily for him, it's only going to be Com in a 1v5. The defuse is happening, and Miniboo's toying with his dinner. Com tries to stand, but will fall. And now we have a game on our hands. It got closer. Heretics woke up, and maybe there is more to be said about this one. A 5-7 scoreline is not out of the realms of reality here, Josh, but we still put our faith towards what we know, which should be LEV, but who knows how this one goes. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.
To 7. Now, the way this started, I thought this would be a clean map 1, Josh. I thought, you know what? Hey, it's going the way we thought. Fair play. And that's when we're talking about the best of 3. Okay, go distance. But
my team is losing.
They closed out 4 rounds.
Not
back
noob,
to back
bro.
at the
Not
end
noob.
there. Is this put some faith in you, or is it still sitting favorably towards LEV?
It's a little bit up in the air. It's still favored slightly towards LEV. This pistol round's going to be huge. Remember, LEV got the first 3 rounds, including that bonus round. They lost with Thrifty, but instantly answer back and collect 8-1. But Team Heretics comes back with 4 in a row.
Don't spam noob,
led
bro.
by the
Don't
in-game leader,
spam.
Boo. He is the one that we're looking to this match, but we don't expect
noob.
him. If he buys enough time for Woot to come back online, then we're going to see a game on our hands. LEV, they still have the control of the ship. They just need to be able to close this out a little bit.
Looking at the Sheriffs. Tex and Aspas going for that. Everyone else on Ghosts and Classics pretty much. And Heretics on the attack. And we look at Woot to try and be an instigator here. Quite quiet on the first half, but this half is, it needs a lot of him to be involved. Obviously with Rienz as well, but still, his value certainly increases here. And a look towards B-Long, but the walk back towards A. Heretics, slow and steady as they approach the A side.
LEV spread apart, 2-1-2 setup, only 2 to defend us. A site and Com would be the first point of contact here at Maze, but Rienz gonna pop that drone, follow it in. There's no Viper wall here. An orb still remaining for Boo. He pops this now. Looks like they're trying to get that spike planted on that wingman.
And Com is completely out.
GG.
Very clean there, actually. I thought they might have been a little bit dissuaded by the harbor wall coming through, but no, very well calculated on the way in. And now down to Aspas and King. They were the ones who were split quite far away. And Heretics not moving away from the site. Hard for any of the util to really force them away anyway. I don't think Aspas saw the pixels crossing through for Minibu. This is so difficult. It's just going to need belting shots, really, and no one's giving him a fight. First one does go down, that's Minibu, but you're right, time is of the essence. Spots out Boo, but they don't know about the other three. This is so uphill, so arduous to try and turn around. Great work from Heretics, Josh. This was very well-made plans.
Round by round, Team Heretics has been crawling it back. And LEV, not sure if they use a timeout yet this game. They still should have 2 available if this game starts getting a little bit messy, a little bit scary for them. They came into this, one of their stronger maps, Ascent and Icebox being the top 2, trying to come in here, clean this, just take it just by storm.
Yeah.
But Team Heretics putting up a fight. LEV probably not prepared for this at the moment. If Heretics builds that confidence, if they're able to steal this map away, it's going to be
things.
Oof.
Yeah, that suddenly becomes a whole new script gets written. As it stands, though, we're going to see the Sheriffs out. There's 3 in the hands of LEV, one with Aspas, one with Tex, and one with Mazzino.
Scary.
They've gone for a stack, all in, 5. Heretics should go through their protocol list. You've got to hope. That should be 2 spotted. Wonder how much more gets revealed in the same moment. And with no pressure over towards B, you're going to be adding question marks to what's around that corner.
They saw multiple players there, including Aspas. Benji starts his walk, securing the close space for his team, but, I mean, the fast rotation, the pivot, Minibu sliding around the map. It's going to be an orb and a wingman plant here. That's where the Viper wall is. It's going to protect them. Calm. You're going to try to deny that plant? It's so difficult. You have to wait and play the retake. Still, King sits back, waits to see if it's a fake or not. Team Heretics actually didn't go for that plant. They still have that wingman, but now there's 4 players for LEV. This could get scary.
And I hate seeing it get to this 30 seconds. I mean, 30 seconds isn't so bad, but there is elements of danger. If the spike plant gets denied, if something goes a little topsy-turvy, it doesn't. As it stands, Com does go down. Goes to the hands of Benji's utility. Split at least 1 towards CT there. And they're in a very comfortable post plant. Look at any utility to maybe maybe Tex, but other than that, it is the weapons in hand, and Heretics drastically outgunning them here in this round. So, should be a formality, but Tex has something to say about the matter, as does Aspas. Can they dismantle the 2 players on the side? But you got to get going here. You got to get moving. Aspas 10 HP, and he's still firing. Boo, though, it's where the buck stops with his side. He doesn't let it pass. Boo has been on.
Last half, LEV was able to secure and convert that bonus round. Now it's on Team Heretics to be able to do the same back to LEV and take the lead for the first time into this game. Right here, pushing up Team Heretics, getting in front of that harbor wall. They must have thought that they were going to get split apart there, so they wanted to play in front of that harbor wall to make sure that they play together. But the harbor wall was actually behind them. They didn't have to go for that push, and it got a little bit scrappy. It came down to the wire there a little bit.
Speaking of scrappy, bonus. 3 rifles, 1 SMG and 1 Sheriff. 1 away from Wootz though, so that could be something they aim for here. Let's look at the early intent from Heretics. 3-2 split, but this time Aspas is on guard duty at B. They try and walk this.
Dangerous position to be in.
The gun in the way.
Oh my god!
Does go down to Boo's. Had his number throughout this game in a couple of clutches, couple of
timeout.
Boo has been the big man. Now with an early pick, they can pause here. Still about a minute to play with.
Such high-risk play coming in from LEV right now. First Aspas, he goes down. Tex also stands tall.
Got to back yourself, I guess, but this is dangerous. And that owl drone could be actually dealt with. Perfect. The Dizzy does find him. Time to fall off. He actually tries to go back in, and the timing's just perfect. Spacing. And the patience pays. Oh, he even gets a second. Nice work from Tex to keep calm there. But Heretics righting the ship. Until then, Mazzino makes his stand on the side. Death from above, King. And suddenly, Benji in a 1v.
Need this round, homie.
I told you once before about this guy, and I'll tell you it again. If he stands, there's always a chance. But does he predict Mazzino's reposition?
Benji thinks he's still back sight, but took the rope across silently. No idea.
When does he consider it? When does he's got to think about it at some point. But timing is everything. 13 seconds.
Let's go, bro, finally.
Team Heretics falter. They had that opening pick on Aspas over at B. And we've seen this from Aspas. It's such a big risk to take in a moment like this where you play that 50-50 angle. You're against the bonus round here as well. Losing that round would have been huge. Just a really bad situation to be put in. But right now, Team Heretics, surely they lose the round, but that was a bonus. They're able to do a full purchase here, and they're keeping LEV really low on economy. What is LEV going to do to rebound from this? 4 Sheriffs and a Vandal coming into this next round here. And this is not the situation you want to be in, but still, with confidence, pushing up, trying to take space. Yep.
Now that Vandal is on the way. It's in the back lines. Kind of set into play by Mazzino. Did Benji hear any more? Maybe an additional step, who knows? But he knows his presence, and he knows that they've now got access at least to the flank. Now, is there a stack here? Benji making decent progress. Be able to hold this. Maybe wait to hear for rotations.
LEV.
Hello.
Oh.
He's going to hear that.
Benji hears everything.
Yeah, Babu's found his man. And now with the Killjoy going down, he's got free reign. Aspas aware, but he still dies. And now Benji can be a nuisance. He goes down. He could have played his life a little more there, cost them some time. But no, the plant's going to be coming in for Heretics. And now they can sit in the deeper post plant.
Boo still with the molly here for this post plant.
Com, he's got the rifle.
No cove, just the cascade.
Very difficult for them to get this done. And they are going to come back through that to secure at least to the first attempt. There's no half achieved here, of course, they know that. So time going to run low. Now, you can see the layering of utility. They have to respect the timing, and they're trying to maybe disrupt that back line, and Miniboo's having none of it. It's clean work in the end from Heretics. 3 alive, and they handle the threats well.
Team Heretics again in the situation, 1 round win from taking the lead in this game. And we talk about it, how we come into this game. LEV, one of their better maps. Team Heretics, they're floating this. They have to. Do we expect this? Not at all. It's catching everyone by surprise, and now everyone's starting to heat up. Still, Woot a little bit quiet on the board, but Boo again, just opening this game up.
Here? Me, Papa.
And Mini Boo. Getting his own voice lines, I guess.
Apparently so. LEV, here's a change. Aspas, the timing. He didn't get seen. They have no idea, but it doesn't seem...
They know.
Now, yeah, they absolutely... You're right. Oh, Rien's the one to punish. And left looking...
Time out, Benji!
And it's bizarre to me. It's not something we know that... We know that Heretics don't lean towards this map. We know that LEV have had this in their map pool towards the top end. But right here, right now, we are seeing Heretics poised to take the lead. We've questioned the form of Leviathan throughout this, I guess, tournament to an extent. We question Heretics towards the end of the online portion, qualifying to this, looking in slumped potentially. But now, as it stands, they're in form. But still, 8 apiece. Tech's in the right place.
It's a good gamble read from LEV. They have that crossfire, but Tech's re-aggressing because they have the numbers. This is going to be a huge play or a big blunder.
Feast or famine moment for Tex, and it's famine. Who finds him instantly? There was a chance there. If things didn't go his way,
Ario.
tries to make something out of nothing, but Heretics taking the lead. Deep in what feels like enemy territory, they are up 9-8.
LEV surely needs to start using their timeouts at this stage in the game. They have to. They're letting this slip at the moment here. So many confidence.
It's too short on that here.
And I wonder if that re-aggression from Tex in that situation, they had that gamble stack towards B. If he sits back yellow, he's got 2 other teammates to set him up, and they can deal with this attack. But instead, he presses forwards. His teammates can't